Welcome to the very first edition of the Welcome Matt, your Chilliwack real estate update. My name is Matt Paisley, and I'm here to provide you some direct insight on the local real estate market. What's happening, what's hot, where it's hot, and what's not. As your home is likely to be the biggest asset you'll ever buy or sell, I'd like to also be able to provide you some information on important things to consider. If you ever want to ask me any questions, I'm here for you. We'll flash my contact info on the screen. Our show is also going to be a regular feature on chillTV News of the Week, and we'll have lots of interesting topic areas we'll cover, in case you're thinking of selling or buying, or maybe have family or friends from out of town that are giving Chilliwack a serious look. Okay, let's get started. So I am very lucky to have with me today Jason Laynes of Jason Laynes & Associates, where I work as a realtor. Jason, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for inviting me.
So Jason has over 30 years of experience in the business in Chilliwack, and he'll be one of my go-to resources. Jason, most people realize that the market was pretty hot this spring, and a lot of people I've spoken to were wondering what the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic has had on real estate in general, starting in March 2020.
Well, Matt, COVID played a role that we kind of thought was going to happen, and then later on told us something different. Up to before COVID hit, we're in a call it balanced market. We're selling what kind of we normally would do that time of year. And then COVID hit, and I'm going to quote some 7-day sales for you. Mid-March, we're selling about 75 homes for a 7-day period. Come May, that number came down to 35 homes in a 7-day period. So obviously the effect of COVID was happening. Fast forward to August, we set a record. No other August had more sales than this August, 2020. And that happened all the way through to December. What happened in December is we started seeing multiple offers. And that happened to roll past March and into April. March was so busy, we had 678 sales in that 1 month, which has never happened before. Just an example of a home that was happening on a regular basis. A fellow bought a home in December 2020, sold for $950,000. He turned around and flipped it for $1.3 million 2 months later. So the market was really busy.
40% increase, multiple offers in 2 months? That's insane. Were there any other areas in the market that were particularly hot in Chilliwack? And how did that compare to the rest of the Fraser Valley?
Well, Matt, the investor market was big in the downtown core. Basically, if you had a developable property, typically it would be a lot wider than 66 feet wide and about 100 feet deep or deeper. That could be possibly subdivided in half, and then you could build 2 homes. So that was real popular. But also homes with secondary suites were popular. The townhouses became popular as well as the apartments, and that's typical for the market. The single family homes that sell the first and be the busiest, and then the rest of it would follow suit.
So if I'm a buyer or even a seller out there right now in the Chilliwack market, what would you consider the best opportunities right now, maybe for buyers?
Well, you mentioned sellers, and I'm going to say that it's still a seller's market. Our inventory is almost at record levels low. So it's harder to find the homes out there, and it's good for the seller because they're going to get a top dollar. For the buyer, I would get into a home sooner than later. We're at record levels on the low side for interest rates, and the sooner a buyer gets into a home, the sooner they start paying that mortgage, the sooner they don't have a landlord to talk to anymore, and the sooner they can pay that mortgage off.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Jason, so much for being on my first show, and thanks to all of you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions on topics we've covered today, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, and bye for now.